Hello everyone, I'm Diana and this is the Maker Nerd. So, today we're going to be looking at doing a little bit of work on the Brother ScanNCut. Just kind of having some fun. So, trying some different layouts with lighting and with cameras and those kinds of things. So I'm just having a little bit of fun, hoping that this will turn out okay. But yeah, I thought I would do a little bit of pre-recording on a project that I'm going to be doing over the next few months. Actually, believe it or not, I'm trying to get ready for some Christmas. And I know it's only March, soon to be April, but when you're doing crafts, if you don't jump on it, you find yourself in November scrambling and going, I don't have time to do everything I wanted to do. So, that's what we're going to be doing today. So, give me half a second and we'll jump to it. Okay, here we are. Some notifications here. Let me get rid of these. My calendar. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. So basically what we want to look at today is we want to look at the Brother ScanNCut canvas. Now, I've always done it on a Mac before. And the only way to do it on a Mac has been to log into the cloud and use their service, which I absolutely have no problem with whatsoever because then your material is there. And so that works perfect. For the PC, they actually have a piece of software right here called Canvas Workspace. The problem with this is that none of my files are here. None of my previous projects are here because they're all being stored in the cloud. So we're just gonna, and I know the website has changed, but let's see. Let's log in. Log in. See, let's start Canvas Workspace for PC, but I would prefer not to. So now I can go in here and you can see all of my projects. So what I'm going to be working on is called a 3D shadow box, and it's created by a woman by the name of Marji, I think. You can find her on YouTube as well, doing tutorials on how to actually put these things together. And her website is 3DCuts.com. Here, let me show it to you really quick, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing today, what we're going to be starting with. I absolutely love her stuff. It's absolutely wonderful. So if I go to Christmas, right here. So this is what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be making this 3D shadow box. And we're going to do that by using our Brother ScanNCut to cut out the pieces that we need to then put this together. Okay, so I've already imported all of the files into the Brother, so I don't have to worry about that. I see I have a little bunny rabbit here. Anyway, I digress. So that's the first things we're going to do is we're going to start cutting these things out, and hopefully I'll be able to get a camera view and kind of show you a little bit about how that works. And we'll get started. Okay, so the other day I went online and I printed off all of the directions for this particular project. So I have it all right here. It's the Star Nativity Shadow Box tutorial. The biggest thing about this is getting the files that you need cut out in the correct number that you need to cut them out in. So We're going to start this T shelf light right here, for instance. We'll get that a little closer. We're not going to need that because we're not going to be using tea lights. All of these stars get cut out in a cream color, so we're not going to do that. The star frame spacer right here also gets cut out in a cream color, so we're not going to do that. So basically we need star frame sides, and we need to cut 5 of these. And we have the backs here, the star frame front and back. We need to cut 3 of these. So these are going to be in a color cardstock because I don't like the white cardstock that you see in her example. So let me do this. Come back here. Come there. Just trying to see if my camera is working. Hold on just a second. Okay, so we're back live, back working again. So I know that this down here are the small parts, the Star Nativity small parts. So let's start with those, and let's go ahead and edit that. Now what we know is that we need 5 of these. These are going to be done in a different color. So for now, we're just going to select and delete these things so that they're not in... I'm not going to save the project this way, although if I did, I could re-import it and it wouldn't be an issue. But for now, I'm just going to get rid of all of these small parts, like so. Okay, and I'm going to go back, reduce the size a little bit. Oh, we still got this one. So we're going to get rid of that, and then these are actually the score lines, so we need to get rid of them as well. And that's why sometimes you have to really zoom in, is to get a bead on those score lines so that you can actually select it. There we go. Okay, so there, that's gone. So now what we want to do is come over here, and we want to select all, and we want to duplicate this. So let's see if we can right mouse click and duplicate. But that's not what I want to do because I want the score lines as well. So let me zoom in. I should be able to select all. I'm just going to shift, nope, shift, nope. There we go. Now we've got them both. And let's go ahead and right mouse click and say to duplicate. That's 2. We're going to do it again. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. Chances are I'm not going to be able to fit all 5 of those on this one mat. But let's see what we can fit on here. So let's go ahead and slide that one to the edge. Wow, I'm not even sure we're going to be able to get more than a couple, maybe 3 on here. So let's see, we're going to delete that one. We're going to delete that one. We don't want to delete that one, but we do want to somehow get its score lines. Alright, we're going to go ahead and delete that one too. And then we're going to grab all of these extra score lines and we're going to get rid of them. So we're going to grab that one, hopefully. Gone. Gone. This one is outside, so I know it's the other one that needs to be gone. I could just get a bead on it. Easier said than done sometimes. And gone. So now I need to get a bead on this. And I need to select this. And I need to go ahead and try and duplicate it. Yes. Okay. Out, out. And I'm just going to move it right here. I still don't think, though, Yeah, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to cut more than 2 out at a time. Because even if I move this over to the max, it's not going to be enough, I don't believe, to get us what we want. So let's try this. There, I'm holding the shift key down so that I can select the other part. And we would have to move it all the way to here. And when we zoom out, yeah, see, that's way off the mat. So that's just not going to work. I'm just not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to get that. It's unfortunate only being able to cut 2 at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and move this back over a little bit. Like I said, I just used the shift key, hold the shift key down to click and grab things and move them over. So let's just go ahead and move that over here. We see we've got this. Let's grab that, hold the shift key down and grab that. Let's position this a little better. We can also reposition these in the ScanNCut software, which is really a nice thing to be able to do, so that, you know, if I see that maybe I can finagle it a little bit, maybe I'll be able to do something a little better. Let me grab it. Sometimes grabbing those score lines can be really difficult to do. But you gotta have them, otherwise it won't work. So let's move that down a little bit, kind of match the other one. Okay, so it looks like two. I guess if I move this one over next to this one, then that scrap that I have left over might actually, you know, I might be able to utilize that for something later on, like making the little doorway that goes on the back of the star where the light goes in. So let's go ahead and move these closer together so that we're not wasting as much material. I mean, these things can be positioned really close, and then maybe I can get one of the doors out of this area. We'll see. Okay, so all I have to do now is connect my ScanNCut to this computer via Bluetooth. And once I've done that, I will hit the download button right here. And when I do that, it'll ask me how I want to transfer it, and I'll be able to do that via the Bluetooth connection. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, we're back, and it dawned on me while I was getting this all set up that if I scooch these over a little closer, I could actually probably get these on an 8.5 by 11, which I do believe I have here. I'll have to check and make sure. If not, that's okay too. But this does not connect via Bluetooth. That was my mistake. This actually connects via wireless. So when I go over here and I hit the download button, it is going to pop up and it's going to ask me how I want to transfer it. So do I want to download to the PC, or do I want to download this to the ScanNCut? So I'm going to say that I want to push this over to the ScanNCut machine. And then it says the ScanNCut transfer is ready. So this is great. We're going to go ahead and close out of this. And then I will get my mat ready and we'll start some cutting. Okay, so we're back. And I did check. And while I do have a navy blue paper in 8.5 by 11, it isn't the vellum paper that I have absolutely come to love when doing these projects. So I am going to stick with my 12 by 12 and we'll find something to do with what's left over. Okay, so I'm going to take the protective cover off of my mat. My mat's been pretty well used, as you can tell. I'm going to, this is a trick that I learned by following one of the Cricut groups in Facebook, and that's that if you'll take a lint roller and use it on your mats. It helps control cat and dog hair, and trust me, we have plenty of cat and dog hair in this house. So I want to roll it to where it, wow. Okay. So I'm just going to give that a quick roll. I've also learned, sorry about that, dog was barking. I've also learned that it helps to use a little bit of painter's tape to hold the corners down on this, just to make sure there are no issues. So it's actually worked really well. I just leave the painter's tape on there. And then just barely catch the corner of it. You don't have to tape it down a lot. You just want to catch it to where if it decided to pull up for some reason, it wouldn't be a complete and total disaster. And as you can see, I have these in the corners, and that's the way that I always feed it then into the machine. Is this in first? Because I got the corners caught here. And if it cuts through the tape, that's not a big deal. Especially with this vellum, it doesn't create any kind of issues. If you accidentally cut through the tape, it just comes right off, so it's not a problem. I cut my fingernails yesterday, which I have to do for typing because I am the type of person that cannot stand typing with fingernails, but then when it comes to doing all of this kind of work, I always wish I had fingernails back. So I have a spatula over here in my tool drawer. Not really a spatula. It's called a tape knife. But I have found that if you take this and also run it, it helps stick it to the mat so much better. So we're just going to do that. You can hear it even getting the air bubbles out as it does that. Okay then, let's take this over to our machine. Excuse me. And we'll give it a try. Okay. Let's see, is there a way? Yeah, there is actually. Just gonna set this phone up right like this. It's not perfect, but you'll pretty much be able to see what I'm doing, right? I'm gonna take this over here, and I am going to hit pattern. Save data, save to the machine. There's my pattern. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to hit add a test. And I'm going to put a little triangle. And where am I going to set that little triangle at is the question. I'm just going to hit set, because I can always move that little triangle. Okay, it's up there in the corner. I can show you that. Right here. Oh, I hear the vacuum cleaner getting ready to start. So I know that the light's kind of messing with us here. It's messing with us big time. But trust me, up here in the little corner, there we go, now you can see it better. You can see that little triangle up there. That's a test cut, so that it'll cut that first, and if the depth of my blade is not correct, then I can adjust it, which is really super handy. And I've had to do that numerous times, so it's a good feature to have. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say okay. And we're going to hit cut. Load the mat. Can you tell it's been a while since I've used my ScanNCut? Where? Give me half a second. There's the. There we go. Okay. And it's set to cut, and so we're just going to hit start. And I'm just going to take a little tool and make sure that that little triangle cut okay, and that it's good to go. Actually, I think I'm actually going to use my pocket knife here. Be able to get that little triangle out of there. Right, because we just want to make sure that it cut all the way through. So I'm just going to take the tape off on the corner here. I don't want to quit cutting. Oh, yeah, you can see, cut all the way through. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it to start. Okay, so now it's just going to cut those pieces out. It's kind of noisy, so I'll go ahead and turn this off until we're done. We're still cutting. Now it's making those square lines that we talked about earlier that are very important when you get ready to fold and put all of this together. Okay, so this one's done. This first one, we're just going to hit unload the mat, and we're going to switch your camera view. We're going to come back over here, and you can probably see the cut lines. See the cut lines on that? And you can see those little score lines too. So yeah, let's go ahead, and you can see they're already just coming right off of there. There's one that we'll set off to the side, and there's the second one. That we will set off to the side, and you can see, I'm pretty sure you can see the score marks, right? You see them there, but then when we flip it over, whoops, the light was shining through them. When you're just looking at it, you don't see the score marks on the reverse side. See what I'm talking about? You can barely see them if you get the camera way up close, but on this side, you see them easily. So yeah, so now we've got nice little diamond we've got cut out here. I've got one more of these to do, and then a half, because I have to have, like I said, I have to have 5 of these. So I'll go ahead and finish cutting the rest of these out, and we'll be back. So we're back cutting the next 2, which will make us 4. And once I've done this, I'll have to actually go in and modify that file one more time so that it just cuts out 1 instead of 2 when I get ready to do that. So this process of cutting out 2 takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So it's not exceptionally long, but when you have to repeat this process several times, it can kind of feel like it gets a little long. I like it once everything gets cut out and we actually get to start putting it all together and seeing what it's going to look like. So, we'll be back. So anytime there's you can see that I've already taken these 2 off. Anytime there's a pause in me using the mat, I always go ahead and take the clear cover and put over it, just because I want to protect it as much as possible from the possibility of dog hair. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, we have 2 golden doodles and 1 miniature dachshund and 3 cats. So hair is definitely an issue in my home. In the background you can probably hear the Roomba vacuuming. If it wasn't for the Roomba, we'd never have anything closely resembling a clean house. Okay, so I actually want you to be able to see what's going on. So let's switch here. I don't think that's showing up. Give me half. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get rid of that little window. We're going to come over here, and we're just going to zoom in on this. Whoops, that was a little bit too much of a zoom. And we're going to do the click for the score lines. Not quite. We're going to do the click for the score lines. We're going to shift click to grab all of that one, and we're going to hit the delete key, and then we're going to zoom back out, and you see now we only have one left. Oh, well, that's problematic. So I'm just going to look at the ones that I have cut right now, and they all look good. Because what I'm seeing is that the score lines on that one moved, so let's do a Control Z. Isn't that strange? Control Z, Control Z. Huh. That's funny because the score lines on all of my cuts look perfect. Which is good because according to that, they didn't look so perfect when I moved it the last time. Alright, but we're not going to worry about it. So we're going to zoom in again. Click. And we're going to click. And we're going to hit delete. Going to zoom back out. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to say download like we did last time. And we're going to say reset the screen. Perfect. Bring this over here. We want to send it directly to the ScanNCut. And as you can see, the ScanNCut is ready. I don't save these files. I probably should on this one because I'm going to make several of these. But I typically don't save these files on my ScanNCut because it's so easy just to move them over with the wireless. But next time I'll probably save this one, definitely. Because like I said, I'm going to be making a few of these. So let's go ahead and say OK. And then we know that's on our ScanNCut now. We're going to close this out. We're going to switch back here. Going to move this out of the way. We are going to... I absolutely love this Thunderbolt paper. I love the linen paper. I think it makes such a nice shadow box out of these stars. You can use any type of scrapbooking 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 that you want. But I just don't think the look is as nice. Here's the other blue that I had. That's the 8.5 by 11. See, I haven't even opened this yet. But, I mean, you can just see the difference in these two. One, color-wise, but also it's the texture. So, when it comes to making these shadow boxes, I recommend spending just a little bit more money and getting a really nice quality paper. And I lucked into it, actually. I didn't even realize the first time that I bought this that I was getting a linen paper. But when it came, I was so happy with the quality of this paper that I love it. So when it comes to doing shadow boxes, I will not be using anything else. In fact, I have a couple of more packs of it coming today in different colors. Because this will be the second shadow box I've made out of this blue. And while I absolutely love it, and I think it's perfect for this nativity scene, I'd like to mix it up just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead Take our other piece, lay on here, get it all lined up with the corners, let it sit down, put that out of the way. I'm going to take our little knife, putty knife tool here, just use that to stick it down to the mat. Again, you can hear the air bubbles being moved out of it. And I think this is key. A lot of people complain about the Brother ScanNCut mat, and it was based on those complaints that I started using the painter's tape on the corners and stuff. And, you know, some advice that I had seen other crafters do. Because the corners do come up kind of easy. But I mean, I've not had a problem. I think it's just you really have to get it stuck down good. So let me go ahead and we're going to switch this one over. And we're going to go ahead, get it loaded. Alright, hit the load button. And then we're going to hit the home button. Okay to delete the patterns. Okay, I'm going to go into pattern. I'm going to go to save data, and I'm going to go to where it shows. Alright, well, for some reason, my pattern is not showing up there. Let me go back home, get my computer back out, make sure that got that one over there. I have this new laptop. Well, I absolutely love it. It has some issues. Alright, so we're going to hit download. We're going to hit the file transfer method directly to the machine. It says it's ready. We're going to hit OK. We're going to go into pattern. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button earlier. Oh, that probably saved me. So apparently I had actually saved the sides of this star from the last one that I did. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Alright, let's just hit OK, cut, and cut. Hopefully this will come out the same size. We'll see in 2 minutes. Yeah, the machine can be a little noisy. Looks like they're the same size, so that's good. That saved us on that last cut using the file from before that was already transferred over. Because our score marks were off on one of these. So this is good. Sometimes things just work out. So we're only doing one of these, so it's less than a minute. Sometimes I get these funny messages about my Roomba vacuum. I named him Mr. Belvedere, and I just got a message that said Mr. Belvedere is stuck near a cliff. I suppose I should go rescue him, but I can rescue him later. Okay. Come back over here, close out the computer, set this there. Set the computer right there. We'll be needing it again in just a second. Excuse me, but for the meantime, let's just go ahead and pop this off here. I'm just going to make sure that it is the exact same size as the other ones that we cut. Uh-oh. It is not the same size. Well, isn't that interesting? So apparently, the Nativity star, it's different. Okay, so we're gonna have to do some recutting. I was about ready to sneeze. I didn't want you guys to hear that. So it is not a perfect match like I had hoped it would be. Why is that? It's just a little bit different in size. That's why I was able to get more of these on a mat than I am this one. You can see that it's a little bit shorter. Actually, the ones that we need are longer. Widthwise, it looks pretty good. Oh, excuse me. But here's the problem, is that if we start off with the wrong size for the sides of our star, it is going to throw everything off on the inside. So I'm going to recut these, and hopefully we'll be back. Okay, so we got all of those cut the way we wanted to, and I can show you real quickly. Here they all are now. All the same size, as you can see. So hopefully we've got the right type sides for this. So we're just going to set those off to the side for right now. And you'll remember earlier this had a bunch of other stuff on it too, right? Excuse me. So I am just going to go back to my projects. And I am going to scroll down, and you can see right here, well, no you can't. You can see right here is the original one that we started with. And so we are going to bring that back. And the reason for bringing this back is so that we can get this right here. We need some of these. We only need one for this particular project, but I figured since I'm going to be in here, well, no, because I'm probably only going to do one of the blue ones, so we probably don't need a bunch of these, but I do need at least one of them. I don't need a lot of this other stuff, so let's see if we can just click. I'm going to click and hold. I'm going to select all of that, and I'm going to hit delete, and then we're gonna, there we go, select all that and hit delete. And so now what we're left with is just this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to slide this up. It would be quicker if I just did it this way. Looks like it takes, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much 5 blocks. So we can do it one of two ways. I think I'm just gonna, oops, there's something. Because this mat that I just cut the 5th one out of has so much extra, I think we're just gonna cut it out of this one since it's already on there and not worry about trying to use one of the different ones. So let me go ahead and send this information over. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I'm going to move it right about there because I don't want to waste any if I don't have to. So we've got it moved over to about where we want it. And now we're going to do the old reset on the screen. We're going to see it right there. We're going to hit the download. And we're going to tell it to send it straight to the machine, and now it's ready to go. So we're going to come back over to the machine, right? Make sure our tape is holding okay. It's about to the point I'm going to have to replace my cheater tape here. We're going to slide this into, we're going to load this into our machine. Load. Okay. I'm going to unplug this here just a second. I'm going to bring this around. I'm going to see if we can get a better shot of what we're doing here. I think if we kind of keep it at this angle, it'll be okay. So we're going to hit return, we're going to hit OK, because we don't want to do, oh sorry, return. We're just going to hit the home button, and we're going to say, yeah, it's okay to delete that old pattern. Then we're going to go back into patterns, we're going to hit that little button. No, we're not. Here we are. Yeah, there we go, now it's retrieving. And so here's our little square that we just did. So we're going to go ahead and say OK. We're going to tell it to cut it. And our green light turns green, and we're going to hit start. Let's see now. Okay, just that simple. Okay then, we'll go ahead and get this off of the machine by unloading it. And we'll come back over here. I don't really want to close that because it'll make it go away, but I'm gonna have to. And voila, there is our back door. So let's see if we can go back to the computer here for a second, and we're gonna go back to my projects here, and the next thing that we're probably going to want to cut, here's our back right here, and here's this. Now if we look at our directions, because if you'll remember, it was the number of these things that we needed to cut is where you need to make sure you're spot on. So we've got our 5 sides, and that's good, and we've got our 1 door cover right here. It says 1, so that's good. This gets cut out of vellum, which I don't have right now. It'll be coming today, or actually I think it's coming Friday. Here is the vellum holder, and I'll have to see what that gets cut out of. So we're going to have to cut 1 of these out of blue, and we're going to have to cut 3 of these out of blue. And depending on what this gets cut out of, this may have to be blue as well. So 1 of these and 3 of these are what we're going to be cutting out next. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first, because I know that it's going to take 3 sheets of our paper. And so let's go ahead on our computer, and here's the frame front is what it's called, star frame front, but it's actually the front and the back. They're cut out of identical pieces. So we're going to go ahead and select that one, and it's going to load, and we're going to select that and delete it off of there. And now you can see that we have the star frame. So we're going to go ahead and say download this, and we're going to say send it to the ScanNCut, and it says that it's ready, so we're going to go ahead and close it, and we can now go ahead, close out of our computer, bring back our mat. We're going to go ahead and grab 4 pieces because I know I've got to do at least that back piece out of this. So we're going to grab 4 pieces of the linen cardstock. I'm going to set our directions off to the side there. I'm going to set our paper off to the side there so that I can grab it as I need it. What I really need is some more space, but hey, I am very fortunate to have what I have. This room has always been called, since we moved here, which was what, how many years ago? Wow. Seems like it's been forever. I know it hasn't been. I'm just going to reposition this tape so that I can continue to get some use out of it. Okay. Yeah, so this room has always been known as the Abyss. And that was because anything, when we first moved in, anything we didn't know what we wanted to do with, first got shoved in the closet in here. And once the closet got full, then the room got full. So over the years, we've managed to move a lot of the stuff like up into storage space in our upstairs. But still, this room has continued to be the catch-all of everything. Currently, it has a couple of pieces of exercise equipment in it that really is limiting, and it still has quite a bit of stuff that just needs to be gone through and either put somewhere or gotten rid of. To the point of voting for getting rid of. But I am lucky in that it is a place that I can do this work. I don't feel horribly claustrophobic in here, although sometimes it can start feeling just a wee bit close. But I've got my 3D printers in here. They're what you see behind the ScanNCut when we are watching stuff cut out. So, you know, they're in here. I've got this nice desk area. This is actually an old drafting table that I had purchased at one time for doing other types of work. So this is what I am using here, is an old drafting table. I've got some lighting systems that I had purchased for use with photography stuff that I still use for that, but the lighting system is working out perfect for this. I'm so happy about that. So over here you can see like that enclosure right there is for a 3D printer, and then there's a 3D printer sitting right there as well. That's a very nice Harbor Freight thing that we purchased for my 3D printing. It has a bottom shelf where I can keep a lot of my filaments and stuff. So overall, I can't complain about the space, but it could be so much better. Let's just go home, say okay. We're going to load our mat. Okay, we're going to load our mat. I'm going to grab this camera. We've loaded our mat. We are going to go into patterns. We're going to go up here and hit that. And there is the star. Can you see it? Yeah, if I come down here you can, which is kind of strange. So that's our star pattern. It's perfect the way it is, so we're just going to hit OK. We've been cutting, the thickness is fine, so we're just going to hit cut and we're going to hit start. And this is going to cut out really, really quickly and noisily. Sorry about that. And we're going to do 3 of these. What these machines can do is simply amazing to me. That does not sound good though. I've heard that sound a couple of times. Okay. We'll bring this back over here. We're going to pop out our star frame. Right. Okay. So there's our star frame perfectly cut out. And now we're going to take this off, and we're going to do 2 more of these plus the solid back, and we'll be back after we do that. Okay, just like that, we now have 3 of these. And yes, the machine continued to make that horrible racket just on one cut. So I don't know if it has something to do with the belt. But you can see we now have 3 of those. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. We still have our back door, and we still have the sides. So the other thing that we're going to do now is we're going to cut out, I think, what is the last blue part. Pretty sure it's the last one. And that is the back of it. So let's get this extra material off here. That over there. These are some really nice stars. I just don't know what I'm going to use them for. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on here. You cut some of this stuff out and it's like, I don't want to throw that away. But it's like, really, what are you going to use it for? And you always think there'll be something, right? Some project, something that those stars would work perfect for. And in the back of your mind, you're going, no, you're just a hoarder. You just can't let go of stuff. And that's probably a little bit of it, to be perfectly honest. I don't like, it's the old waste not, want not that was drilled into us when we were younger. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this loaded really quick. Back. I'm just going to hit the home button, okay. Just going to go ahead and get that loaded. I'm going to grab my computer over here. Okay. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so remove that. Okay, go here, go there. Oh, hold on. Bet that's problematic. I'm gonna close that window, and we're gonna open it again. There we go. We're going to hit that one. Done. Okay, so we're back here. I'm going to just tell that to go away. We're back here. Are we back here? Nope, we're not back yet. Hold on just a second. Okay. Launch that. All of this technology takes as much, if not more, time than just working with the other, right? The program keeps closing on me. Not sure what's going on here. I think it's because that one is there. Let me try launching it one more time. Now one just popped in. I wonder which one it is. Drat! I chose the wrong one. Okay, good. Maybe. Yes. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we're just gonna click this. We're gonna go down here. And we're gonna grab the Nativity star back. Now, when you import all of these things in, okay, so hold on, let's undo that. I'm gonna Control Z that. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this one. When you import all of these things in, you need to make sure that you name them the way they are being named in her files, because it'll give some really strange names to these things up here in this little corner. Right here is where it just gives all kinds of letters and numbers, and if you don't name it, then you may not remember exactly what it is or what color it's supposed to be out of. Okay, so now looks like I've got that. I'm gonna go ahead and download it. You all have seen this screen several times. I'm going to send it over to the ScanNCut. It's ready, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to go ahead and close out of the computer, set it back off to the side. I've already got my mat loaded. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to go ahead and say go to pattern. I'm going to retrieve it. There it is. I know this is really hard to even, the glare is horrible on this, but the star's there, you can kind of see that. So we're going to say okay, and we're going to say we want to cut it, and we're going to hit the start button. And this should only take, yes, there's that lovely machine noise. Now I'm wondering what it's cutting here. Okay, yeah, no, that looks okay. Perfect. Okay, we're going to tell it okay. We're going to unload it. And we're going to come back over here. And we're going to lift this off the mat. And this is the door that this will get attached to, right? So that no light leaks out. This will get attached to this, and then those tabs will just slide. This tab will be left on the outside. These tabs right here will be bent in so that it keeps the door closed and no light leaks out. But we'll see all of that later. So I think we've got all the blue pieces cut out. We're going to call it quits for now and see if we can edit this and get it up. Alright, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share. Follow me over on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me at themakernerd.com. And here's hoping that you guys enjoyed this. And you can make any comments, ask me any questions, and I will respond.